Hey guys, Blue Flame here, and welcome back to another episode of What If Ichigo Was Overpowered. I again want to give a big thanks to the Dark King who made this thumbnail. So, thanks to him. But aside from that, I'm still looking for people who can make me thumbnails. So if you're good at making those, please leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Aside from that, two of the series I'm doing right now are going to come to a close in the next few episodes. The first one being this, and the second one being What If Naruto Was a Prodigy. This one is coming to a close because, Ichigo is overpowered and there's really nothing else, no other arcs to go over. So I hope you guys are going to understand. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So where we last left off was, Aizen taking Ichigo for some experiments, some Orochimaru bullshit. So, that's where we're gonna start off. So, this is when Ichigo starts waking up, and, he's not chained up or anything because Aizen is pretty cocky and he thinks he's gonna be able to dispose of Ichigo, especially with the Espada there. So, yeah. And, Ichigo wakes up and Aizen's like, well, our guest is finally waking up. And all the Espada are like sitting down on their, special chairs, I guess you could say. And Ichigo's like, where am I? And, Aizen's like, oh, this is my, welcome to the Espada, I guess you could say. He's like, welcome to the Espada. And Ichigo's like, what? What are you even talking about, you, freaking disgusting looking motherfucker? And Aizen's like, oh, don't be like that, Ichigo. We come from the same place. You're a hollow, I'm a hollow. It's like brothers from another mother, And Ichigo is like, that's kind of fucked up, but no, we're definitely not like that. Aizen's like, well, I kind of think you as a brother. I think of everybody here as a brother. And Ichigo's like, all right, that's cool. I don't care. I don't know why you're trying to tell me that. So, Aizen's like, all right, well, I'll just get to the point. I brought you here today to ask you if you want to join my my group called the Espada. And Ichigo instantly is like, nope, nope. I got a life back in the Soul Society. I got Yoruichi. Oh, by the way, at the time I'm making this video, you guys have not hit 100 likes, so you guys cannot, freaking tell me that I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing like the 100 like special. So, yeah. You guys can't blame me on that shit. So yeah, what was I gonna say? And, Ichigo's like, nope, not gonna do it. And Aizen's like, why not? And, Ichigo says, like, I have a life back at the Soul Society. And Aizen's like, I can give you a better life. I can even bring Yoruichi, your beloved. And Ichigo's like, what do you mean? Do you have her? And Aizen's like, yep, we have her trapped. And of course he's lying, so he can like get in like Ichigo's bad side, so he can actually have a fight with Ichigo. Because, he wants to test out how powerful Ichigo is, because let's say Ichigo escapes, right? He wants to see if he's gonna be a big threat if he escapes. So, yeah. Ichigo's like, what have you done? And he starts going into his, like, hollow form combined with his Quincy form. And this time, it's, like, a very evolved form. He's like, it's a very evolved form. It's not like, last episode where it's, like, not even completed. Well, it's completed, but this time, it's, like, an evolved form, as I said. So, and his soul pressure is going everywhere. Like, even, like, the Espada are, like getting down on, like, both knees. Because that's how powerful Ichigo's soul pressure is. And even, like, the Espada that's ranked number 1 is, barely standing. He's, like, almost gonna be on one knee. Or one leg. And even Aizen's feeling this. He's like, God damn, I didn't know, Ichigo was gonna be this powerful. He's like, yep, he's definitely a threat. We gotta get rid of him. And at this time, you know, you know how I said it's a Quincy hollow form? Yeah, his hollow form is taken over more. So, Ichigo's hollow is like taking over his whole body, and it's almost like a full hollow form instead of a Quincy form. I mean, he still has his bow, but he has his bow and his sword, and he goes from one Espada to the other, like one at a time, from the lowest to the highest. So he starts going from the 13th to the 12th to the 11th, and so on and so forth. And every Espada, every time, Ichigo starts coming closer, he just starts laughing maniacally. He's like, he doesn't even make any noise. He just starts laughing. And every single Espada is scared every time Ichigo makes a step. They're like, oh shit, oh shit. They're like counting down, how much time they have before they die. And he finally gets over to the number one ranked Espada. And the number one ranked Espada is like, I don't remember the name, by the way. Sorry about that. Hope you guys don't put that against me. um, so yeah, and the number one ranked Espada actually stands up and he like tries to put up a fight, and Ichigo easily like breaks his sword and just chops off his head. And he starts coming closer and closer and closer to Aizen. And with every step, the building is shaking, the glass is shattering, the table is freaking creaking. Every single hollow that was in that realm is like freaking scared. They think that Aizen is doing this when it's really somebody who's probably way more powerful. And, Aizen makes an illusion. He's like, the best way I can get out of this is making an illusion. So what he does is, he makes it so that, he kills Yoruichi. And this was the fucking worst thing Aizen could have done. Because this made fucking Ichigo just go fucking berserk. He unleashed his fucking Bankai. And you might be like, hey, Blue, how do you do that? I'm just gonna be like, fuck it. Overpowered means he can unlock his Bankai faster. And his Bankai is fucking, it's not even a fucking sword anymore. It's like more of a fucking devil coming out. It's like, the sword is shaped in a different way. Instead of being like a regular sword, it's, how could I say this? It's almost like the reincarnation of Satan itself. So, Ichigo like breaks out of the illusion, and his soul pressure is actually about to break the fucking barrier between both the worlds. Even the normal world can actually experience how much freaking power Ichigo is letting off. And Aizen's like, oh, you're the best fucking opponent I've ever had in my life. He's like actually excited for this fight. And when Ichigo breaks out of the barrier or the illusion, he just starts going on a rampage. He doesn't even he just avoids Aizen. He goes, and by the way, I think fucking Ichigo's going like Mach fucking 100 or something. I don't fucking know. So he goes he kills all the hollows in that realm in an instant. That's how fucking fast Ichigo's going. And Aizen's like, huh? What? And, Ichigo's like, now we have no interruptions. This is, of course, Ichigo's hollow form talking. Ooh. So, yeah. And Aizen's like, what the fuck is going on? What have I done? And so he starts, going into his hollow form. And, Ichigo and Aizen are, like, going at a battle. But every time, they slash, it makes another rift in time, I guess you could say, or between the worlds. And if you just look at the Soul Society, they're just seeing cracks all over the place. They're like, what the fuck is going on? So they, of course, send, like, all the captains through there. And all they see is just, all they just see is, like, swords clashing and, I don't know, soul pressure. The moment they entered the realm, they could just feel like an immense fucking soul pressure. And they could barely even, run at their full speed. No, not run at their full speed. They could barely even run. But they make it to where Aizen's castle is. So, yeah, they make it there. And they can just see Ichigo into like a fucking they think he's turned into a full hollow. And Ichigo's like just in the fight and everybody's actually scared of him. They're like, he's like, let's just hope we don't get in his bad side. That's all they say. And Kapachi's like, oh, I want to have a fight with this kid. And, Byakuya's like, are you fucking retarded? You're gonna die in an instant. And Kapachi's like, I'm not so sure about that. What if I actually, get to know my sword and release it? And Byakuya's like, maybe you're gonna have a chance then. But still, nobody here has a chance, even when we're all together. Especially with that immense soul pressure. So, yeah. So Aizen and Ichigo are just clashing. And every time, Ichigo's sword just goes, like, to the left, it makes, like, a huge rift, as I said. And, Aizen's like, do you see that? That's the power of my, the Hogyaku. And Ichigo's like, are you sure about that? Look a little closer. Every time I slash my sword, it's actually me who's making those rifts. And Aizen's like, that's not possible. I am the all-powerful. And Ichigo's like, I don't think so. And this is not me. This is me not even using my my full power. This is just 20%. And, Aizen's like, what? Then what is 100%? And Ichigo's like, this is 50%. And he just does a big-ass slash. And this actually, like, almost creates a fucking black hole. It doesn't create a black hole, but it creates such a big rift that it, like, sucks in, like, many people. And, and Aizen's like, what the fuck are you? Are you fucking, the devil itself? And Ichigo's like, well, you can call me that, as I'm gonna be your worst nightmare. And Aizen's like, no, just spare me, I'll even give you the Sogyaku. And Ichigo's like, I don't care about that. The only thing I care about is giving, you giving back Yoruichi. And, Aizen's like, I'm joking. I never fucking stole Yoruichi. She's still back in the Soul Society. And, Ichigo starts calming down. He's like, oh, okay, that's good. And he's like, actually, you're a big threat to both of us. So I might as well just take care of you. So what he does is he uses 75%. And he just splits Aizen in half. Now, of course, Aizen regenerates. And, Ichigo is like, looks like, you can regenerate from that. So he just sticks his sword right through Aizen's heart, and Aizen's like, that's not gonna hurt me. And what he doesn't notice is his sword, Ichigo's sword is just slowly taking away at Aizen's soul and just decomposing it. And, Ichigo's like, rest in peace, you motherfucker. And he just starts walking away while his sword is in there. And Aizen's like, wait, we're not done here. And Ichigo's like, look down. And he just sees his like, his soul just being ripped out. And his body's starting to decompose. And, Aizen's like, what? This can't happen. I am all godly. Nobody can stop me. And, Ichigo's like, I don't know. Even if you think you're God, there's always going to be someone better. And Ichigo's like, that's the same for me too. There's always going to be someone better than me. And Aizen's like, I don't accept this. I don't accept this. And he just starts, he just fucking disappears. And Ichigo just like, brings out his left hand. And his sword just comes flying in. It's kind of like Mjolnir, when Thor holds out his hand. It's kind of like that. And, and Ichigo just collapses on spot. So all the captains bring him back to the Soul Society. And, of course, he's healed up and everything. And Captain Yamato's like, God damn, I didn't know this kid could take that Aizen or the Hogyapu or the Haigapu. So I don't know how to say it anymore. So, yeah. So, Ichigo starts waking up. And he's on Yoruichi's lap, and Yoruichi's like, oh, thank God. It's a relief that you survived. And Ichigo's like, huh, what do you mean? I thought I just passed out for a minute. And Yoruichi's like, well, you passed out for like a good 4 hours, but your heart stopped beating. And then, Ichigo's like, oh shit, looks like I went a little overboard. And Yoruichi's like, don't you ever do that again, you understand? And like she gives him a hug, and Ichigo's like, slow down a bit, I think all my bones are broken. And Yoruichi's like, oh, sorry about that. And she just pushes him back on her leg, and Ichigo does like a grunt, because it's actually hurting. Like, imagine like you have a lot of broken bones, and like, I don't know, you just get pushed down. So every captain surrounds him, and they're like, nice job, Ichigo. And you took down one of our biggest threat. And Ichigo's like, huh? Oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And Captain Yamato walks through. He's like, so since you become so powerful, either you're gonna have to become the captain, or you're gonna have to take over my spot. And Ichigo's like, oh no, I'm not accepting any of those. And Captain Yamato's like, do you not wish to obey me? And Ichigo is like, well, old man, I could probably take care of you. And Captain Yamato's like, I bet you could, but can you take care of all of us? And Ichigo's like, well, I mean, it might be a tough fight, but I could still do it. And all of them start releasing soul pressure. And Ichigo's like, well, I can't fight you guys right now. Let me heal up a little bit. So Captain Yamato is like, all right, so since we can, we have your life is in our hands. You either choose to become like the highest ranked captain right here, who's gonna take over my spot in a year or two, or we're gonna kill you. And Yoruichi's like, what? And she starts releasing soul pressure. She's, Captain Yamato's like, you can't take care of all of us. And Ichigo's like, it's all right. And he's like, all right, well, I'll be a captain then. Captain Yamato's like, good choice. And he's like, the first thing you're going to need is a lieutenant. And he's like, all right, well, Yoruichi's like, my lieutenant now. Because I think there's nobody else better than that. So, yeah. So, Yoruichi's like her lieutenant. And, Captain Yamato's like, well, you're gonna need some other members too. And, Ichigo's like, I got it. And he just takes out his sword, makes a rift, and he pulls, he makes like a little bit, he's like, and, he makes a rift, and then he goes through, and he comes back with like 3 people. Uryu, Chad, and Orihime. Uryu's like, why the fuck did you bring us here? And, Ichigo's like, well, I'm gonna need you to become my, disciples kind of thing. And Uryu's like, I would rather fucking die. Please kill me. I hope I didn't hear you. Did I just hear you right? And, Ichigo's like, yeah, you did. And Uryu's like, yeah, I'll join. And Chad's like, well, I have nothing better. And Uryu's like, no, I won't do it. And, Ichigo's like, all right, your choice. I was gonna teach you how to, release your bow and teach you a new technique or two. And Uryu's like, really? You know how to use your Quincy bow? And Ichigo's like, well, I've known for a long time. And Uryu's like, fine, it's only a temporary truce, though. And, so Captain Yamato's like, all right, this squad has been, set up. And so this is, of course, Yoruichi's her lieutenant, and Uryu's like, the second lieutenant. Chad and Orihime are like, below Uryu and Yoruichi. So yeah, that's Ichigo becomes a captain. And that's where I'm gonna leave it off. This is probably the next part is gonna be the end. I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys, enjoyed this video. Again, I'm looking for people who can make my thumbnails. if you're, good at making thumbnails, almost as good as this, as I said, leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you. But, thanks for watching.